boy. Got that hash to the info. Got a pan on here. I'm gonna heat it up. Some shit in there, I have no clue what. Burned off any scuzzies. Any contaminants. Got a wonderful plate of hash here. This morning, I'm feeling like eating. I didn't really eat yesterday, last night, so let's get it. Make breakfast and lunch today. It's 8:30. Let's see. Oh. Gravy. Oh, I gotta eat up the portobello mushroom too. There's like 7 of them there. The only thing is, when you buy 2 packs of mushrooms, you gotta eat them every single day. I don't mind. I just didn't think I was gonna wake up and have breakfast again. But it's what it's gonna be. There's 7 portobello mushrooms left. They have about a 4 more day shelf life. And so somebody else has to eat 2 or 3. It's minor. Let's move the plate to the hash. Over, and I have to use this, so pop this here. And I need this. Yes, please read the description carefully as we talk today about so many things. When I was younger, I dated a nurse, and I dated her very temporarily. I don't know, 24, 25. Actually, she ends up knowing, she's not friends with, but she knows my wife's friends. A couple of the ones, let's just say, she went to high school with and doesn't hang around with anymore. Everyone has crackheads in the friend family. Well, this friend that I dated, she was best friends with this other girl. And they were pill poppers, real hardcore drug addicts. I didn't know she was a pill popper, the girl I was dating at the time. And I didn't also know that. I didn't know my chick before I met her. I also didn't know this girl by name. I'd only seen some video, like pictures of her. Something. I don't remember what it was, but I saw some shit. And I'm like, weird looking, whatever. And move on. This girl I was dating absolutely had no morals. Talk about easy street. That's something I usually check women. Like, you can see, there's a thing about women, right? If you can do pretty much anything with a chick within the first few seconds, most of the time they're probably really slutty, and you gotta watch for those. They'll break your heart. They'll cheat on you 50 ways from Sunday. Well, this one that I was dating, I knew she was creepy just after like 6 hours of being with her. I kept it going for a week or 2, but 6 hours in, I had gut rot. And then after like the last time that I saw her one evening, getting head or whatever, and then at the end of the night, just kind of really wasted talking for a bit, and she tells me like, she can get pills. I'm like, oh, that's fucking really too bad. I don't want anything to do with pills, I said. And she's like, oh, I get them for free. I'm like, well, what do you mean? How do you get fucking pills for free? She's like, I steal them from the fucking old people I work for. And I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? These people, they're not people, they're demons. They're actually killing our elderly people by stealing their medication, making them suffer. And then people think that, oh no, this person's crazy, this old person's crazy. You should see what they do to old people in Manitoba. There's a person in Canada, a nurse, they call her the Black Widow. She killed 8 to 10 people. She admittedly killed a nurse, a woman, Don't be fooled because you're a nurse. They're not all good, period. And now I'm going to get to some doctors and some statements some doctors made 3 years ago when I tried to sign up for medical marijuana. And here it turns out, last night, America not decriminalized. They took cannabis off a Schedule 1 drug list for that was on the fucking drug list for 110 years. Last night they took it off of there. Do you want to know why? Cannabis, I can't really, they're doing research on COVID and cannabis. I can say that. And there are correlations. It's fucking hilarious, you know. All the haters, all the people, you know, you work for a demon, a doctor in a hospital, or you do something for someone who's in a healthcare field, and they demonize cannabis. Yet they drink alcohol, they smoke cigarettes, and they pop harmful pills that ruins their intestinal tract and also causes ulcers and bleeding from the inside out. Are you kidding? Are you kidding, bud? So we'll see who's here in 10 years when this hashy is still kicking and more vibrant. I'm gonna look even younger. I'm 40. You should see the people. You want to go put some of my chicks' friends against me? They're 5, 7 years older than me. Most of them fucking look 50, 60 years old. Some of the 50-year-olds look 60 years old. My friends, I have a rough crowd. They all look like mean messes. I have like 4 to 5 friends that are like complete shining images. They're hashies. They're growers for 2 decades. It's amazing, the hate, the demonizing of cannabis, and now it turns out cannabis can save a lot of people. Just disgusting. Really is disgusting. So today on the show, I'm going to out hundreds and hundreds of stories of different areas of the city, people, you know, I've come across in my time, dirty as fuck, really dirty, you know. And again, every time I hear someone who's dirty, I stay away from them. I want nothing to do with them. When someone mentions cocaine, so I had a house party one time. I had a bunch of people over. Someone talked about cocaine. I'm like, if you're gonna do cocaine, get the fuck out of my house. I'm like, no coke here. You know, I mean, you're not ODing on my property, you fucking scum suckers. I don't take any pills, you know, I don't put any poisons in my body. So these are things I'm saying on a live stream. And my mom knows, my family doctor knows. I have, you know, probably 4,000 people that know me on the internet know I would never pop any kind of pill, ever. If I don't do BHO, I grow my own cannabis so it can't be poisoned unless somebody poisoned my cannabis, right? So you got to understand, you know, if someone wants to poison someone, it's not as easy anymore as you think. Unless the doctor you get put to for the exam, like Epstein, doesn't do a thorough, well, actually the doctor did say he was probably murdered. So, I mean, even the what's the person's name that fucking checks you out after you're dead? Anyway, that guy, not the mortician, he's like a lab investigator. Anyway, that person. You know, you'd be surprised. I'm sure here they're dirty. I guarantee you they're mostly dirty here because of the fact that you don't really hear about a lot of stuff. I know our privatized healthcare system has been infiltrated by the biggest demons in the world. A privatized healthcare, they make you pay to heal you. So we have to sue and jail the owners of the hospitals here in Winnipeg. For sure, most definitely. We don't need them. This is what everybody doesn't understand. They're not even in Winnipeg. So we can just walk in, take the hospital, you know, have the police monitor the inside and the outside of the hospital, put real doctors in there that actually heal people, nurses and people that actually see that we're running low on supplies, and order them 2-6 months in advance, put them in a storage warehouse and have them ready for this province to heal the people of the province, right? That's not happening. So you have to go in and say, who's in charge of supplies? You have to say, who's in charge of respirators? Who's in charge of taking care of the surgeon's gowns, masks, protective equipment? You have to say, who's in charge of making sure the nurses have the supplies every day? You have to say, who's in charge of ensuring that the people waiting in triage aren't waiting too long, aren't too close, aren't infecting each other more and more. So what we're going to do is put a live stream video chat of a live stream of the hospital room, right? It's a hospital. Why wouldn't we want transparency? People will say, "Oh no, it's for your safety." No, it's not. It's so they can't prove, so you can't prove that there's something going on. So we're going to change all this. It's a lie. Privacy Act doesn't, the fuck, you can film anybody in Canada. You can't film someone in their own home. It's a Pallister. Manitoba, in Manitoba, every province has their own laws. Pallister said 2 months ago it's against the law to film somebody on their property. Period. And that was about 2.5 months ago, 10 months ago, 10 weeks ago. But I have issues with certain things I can't really talk about in the summertime and stuff. I mean, you guys know what I do. But yeah, somebody tried to take, figure out some way to entrap me and set me up. So I had a talk with CSIS, government officials that oversee the entire medical act of marijuana in Canada. And I said, if the police ever do anything that jeopardizes my freedom, you have to find out who is the arresting officer and who is the officer or the sergeant or whatever that sent this pig in, right? And then my family will get involved and fuck you up. Promise you. So, to all the people in the world, if you think that you can set someone up in this day and age, that's a good person, it's not going to happen. There are cops that were killed in Canada without, it's a mystery how they died. It's a mystery. A semi-truck just all of a sudden overtook the other side of the road and killed a dirty cop. You be the judge. Lots of bacon fucks in this province I'm in, and I know a lot of the dirty cops because of where I grew up and when I grew up. So there's people who, they'll say they're Hell's Angels. There's people who say they're IP gang members, They work for police. They give information to the police about other people all the time. But those people, when they get drunk, they talk. So it's pretty funny. And I mean, there's other ways too, but just so you understand, the world we live in is mostly for entrapping you. It's for setting you up. If the world we lived in was so fair, we wouldn't need Secret Service to watch over the police when they're bad, right? But the police commit illegal acts. Not all the police, not every organization. There's cops within the police force that have their own little dirty group, right? Maybe the chief of police knows about it, but he's like wink wink on the side, right? But here's the thing. What if the cops are so dirty and you have statements from too many rats that say, oh, I've been let off of murder charges. I've been let off of, I poisoned someone, I was let off. Then what? Then you take it to a new level. And I got someone who's on their deathbed, very old, and said they've been a fucking narc and a rat for decades. And they listed police that I actually know are drug cops and gang squads here in Winnipeg still to this very day. And their names came up. So what I want everyone to know, and then I'll go back. This coke addict pill popper, this nurse that knew this other fat chick, she's a narc, right? And she knows police, and they do coke together, and they know Italian mafia, and they all rat out areas of the city. It's fucking crazy. It's very well known, and it is now, and that's why nobody talks to these people, and they're referred to as crackheads and things like that. Not because they're not just crackheads, but they're informant crackheads, right? Most crackheads, where do you get crack from? You're gotta be getting it from someone who busted someone. You can't make crack. Crack is sold to you by a CI. You should look up the term CI. It's called counterintelligence. So what they do is they take someone and they put them in the other side, in the bad people's side, and they try to collect info with those people. Sometimes they give them a badge, and if you look up the term, this is why I always say I'm like this guy. What's this guy's name? Fuck. He's a writer. He was from Saskatchewan. I think he died in Saskatchewan. They wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is made after this guy. Fuck, what's his name? He's a huge drug addict. Fuck. Like he ended up shooting himself. I'll have to look up his name. Fear and Loathing book. His name is Hunter S. Thompson. So Hunter S. Thompson went and hung out with the Hells Angels back in the day, and he wrote a book on them. And let me just say that to all people, if you think a gang is your outlet to stay safe, you are fucking sad. When you enter a gang, there are people that you hurt, right? And if they find out, then they go after you. Why would you think that a gang is gonna help you? If you have a bunch of friends that are good, and they only do good, and they protect good people, and you stay good, it's 50 times stronger than all the gangs in the world. And I'll explain why. Because you can actually pick up the phone and call the good people at CSIS, fucking Interpol, Scotland Yard, and say, yo, can you monitor my house for a week? I feel threatened. Can you tap all the phone lines of people that I've messaged and text? Because I feel something's up. I feel a setup. And when you do that, and they come back and they say, you were right, fuck, man. What a feeling, you know? So I want people to know that you can be a good person and have evil try to come at you, okay? Do you think the people, those good people in the nursing home, do you think they got revenge by having that nurse that killed, she admitted to killing 10 or 11 patients or elderly folks in old folks homes, poisoning them? She will rot in a cage for the rest of her existence for what she did. So the good people stuck up for the good elderly. Do you get it? You won't find anyone going to fucking dig up shit on that dirty pig here in Winnipeg that got smashed by the semi-truck. And there's a reason why. No one fucking liked him. He's a rat. So you can't do certain things and then and not understand consequences. You know? When you put the mark of the beast on you, whether you taint your body with money that you took from poisoning someone, committing an evil act, setup, setting someone up with drugs and putting them in a cage to eat rotten carrots for a year, or if you're doing the same act as someone else and it's not a harmful act, but it's carrying cannabis, but you have more cannabis on you, Mike, and you go to jail, you don't do any time, but you say you paid this huge fine and all this shit happened to you, you're traveling to America and you fucking literally, you said you trafficked pounds, hundreds of pounds. That's not even possible. I have a friend, he's still in jail right now for 50 pounds trafficking. So you're a fucking bullshit liar. And believe me when I say your name is everywhere with CSIS. People that were narcs in the old world are now the dirtiest and considered criminals in this new world. There are no narcs required anymore. If you're a narc, you have to be narking out cocaine, heroin, and ecstasy, fucking Oxycontin, fucking something evil, meth, something evil, okay? Not fucking pot, not medical marijuana, not because a dude has a fucking field full of fucking medical marijuana in his yard. Fucking losers. I'm untouchable, and that's one thing you have to know. I'm untouchable to evil that lives. Remember that, Rastafari.